So, this isn't a regular Rust Workshop Skin Checks video, no. What we're going to be doing is showcasing some very nice looking Halloween collection continuations. So let's just give you the context. Over the past weekend, no skins were submitted. And I'm pretty sure over the course of the next weekend, no skins will be submitted. But the October 16 Rust Store is still expected to be a regular Rust Store. What will happen is they'll probably just pick out a lot of late picks and whatnot. Not like super late picks, but skins that are submitted within the past few weeks. So, okay, cool, understood. And of course, on October 23, the actual Halloween update will be added to Rust. And with that, the first Halloween Rust Store. It's expected we're going to have 2 Halloween Rust Stores this year. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if they're going to be very, very big. What do you mean by that? Well, if I could just quickly show you right here in front of me, we have the actual collection set up by TGG. So, some of you probably already know, but if you're new to this, how many skins do you reckon were submitted for Halloween this year? Pause the video and guess now. Right, let's just scroll down and, oh look, there you go, 324. So on average, with our Rust Stores, we see between 10 to 12 skins at the moment, don't we? So you're telling me we're only going to see maybe about 20 skins out of 324? I'll sit here and say this. I wouldn't be surprised if we probably see about 30 skins in total. Maybe more. We'll see. So expect some big Rust Stores for Halloween. Now, by default, you'll probably sit there and say, oh, cool. So is there going to be like lots of potential investments? Not really. I'll elaborate. So typically with collection continuations for holiday skins, such as Easter, such as Halloween, such as Christmas, well, it's only really clothing and armour. Sometimes it can be deployables, and of course we might point that out today, but it's only really clothing and armour. And what will happen is if you were to see these brand new skins being accepted, the second it's not Halloween, it will drop off. Same thing happens to Christmas skins. The second it's no longer Christmas, it drops off. But typically, in anticipation for the next the next Halloween or next Christmas, you're likely going to see the skins rise up in price. But it's usually only the clothing skins, clothing armour, which tend to have an interesting spike and price moment if we do see collection continuation. So, okay, cool, understood. So we have 324 skins in total. Loads of skin creators just randomly appeared all of a sudden. Anyway, so let's just scroll down, get a good look at this. You'll realise about 45% of the submissions are clothing and armour. You'll realise about 45% of the submissions are deployables, as you'll see here. Lots and lots and lots and lots. We've got beds. We've got minus hats, so don't worry if you're worried about not seeing them over the course of the next couple of weeks. Oh, it's going to happen still, I'm sure. So we're still looking at all the deployables, more and more and more and more. And then at the very end, we get a decent amount of weapons and tools. We don't really tend to see that many weapons and tool skins being accepted. Mostly due to the fact that they just don't get that submitted that much. So, okay, understood. All good. So let's just scroll all the way back up. So that's a lot of skins, and I'll link that in the description. You can tell me right now, out of all those skins, what would you like to see being accepted, all right? There's a lot to go through, but you will notice some interesting collection continuations. Well, I'm about to showcase them to you as well. So in this video, we're actually going to go in-game, showcase all the skins, but to be non-biased, what we're going to do is only look at those collection continuations. So if the skin creators didn't make sequels, that's down to them. Now, I will sit here and say this. I do apologise if I happen to have missed any collection continuations. Over the course of the next 2 or so weeks, I'll be putting out tons of short videos as well, showcasing all the bed skins, the hammer skins. You get the idea. So you're going to also see lots of skins through that as well. Now, with next week's video, what I'll do is I'll ask my server what do you reckon is going to get accepted. We'll do a bingo, and I'll just look at all the skins that get mentioned the most, and then I'll showcase them. I'll probably also showcase the top 5 skins in terms of most support. You can see that on micro522.com, which is linked in the description. And so with that, shall we get started? Shall we start talking about deployables? Now, before I showcase all the skins, I'd just like to point out all the skins, all the collection continuations we're going to showcase today. If you were to look in the description, scroll down, you will see I provided every single workshop page for them. And of course, everything is chaptered. So if you're not too keen for all the deployables, you just want to skip ahead to the clothing armor, for example, just look at the description, scroll down, everything's chaptered. Right, let's go ahead and showcase all those skins. Okay, so let's get started with deployables. Now, what happens to be this right here? Well, you can read it. Horror Bed, collection continuation to the horror sleeping bag that we saw being accepted 10 years ago for Halloween 2015. I actually have the link right here, so if I had to just click that real quickly, drag it over to here, there you go. So at the moment, this is currently listed at around, I think, $1,000. Yep, listed, not actually selling for. Because as you look over to here, the barter's going, they're only going up to about $700. So if you were to ask about the actual price, seems to only be just about, well, to be honest with you, it actually has sold for over $1,000 this year. So, okay, fair enough. With all due respect, it looks like people are paying the prices here. There's not that many of them that exist. Back in 2015, October 2015 time, there wasn't that many people playing, especially compared to the amount of people that play today. So, will the sleeping bag potentially spike the price quite a lot if we were to see the bed being accepted? I don't think it will really dramatically cause this to go crazy, but, you know, just a nice thing to be aware of. So, all right, cool. 10 years in the making. Could we see the collection continuation for the sleeping bag? So, we'll showcase that in a bit. And I should also point out, we also have the Tombstone bed. So about 2 years ago, if you can recall, we did see the Tombstone concrete barricade being accepted. So over to here, I'm going to type in Tombstone. And as you will see, it's currently not doing super great. Consider this. How often do you use concrete barricades? Yeah, well, there you go. So it's just more for like decorative purposes and whatnot. Not very expensive. I mean, if you were to see the bed being accepted, how many people are actually going to put two and two and realise, oh, wow, it's a collection continuation to this? In fact, probably a lot of people only just found out about that. So, okay, cool. Fair enough. So, right, we have the Tombstone bed and the horror bed. Some very nice, cool-looking additions. We also have to bring up that we also have seen another seasonal fridge from Mr. Epic. So if you don't understand what Epic's been up to over the past few years, let me help you out. So we could just quickly hop out of here. I want to quickly showcase to you back in Easter. So, cool, what roster was that? I think it was the second one. So as you can see, I go to the little top right time notch here. I can easily navigate through all the months. If I could just quickly go to, God, I don't have Easter Rustle here. Oh, thank you. I think it's the 10th. No, it's the next one. So here you go. Ta-da. Where is it? There. No? No, that is it. That is it. Yep. So Epic, over the past, like, 3 years, he's been following a bit of a plan. So back in 2023, we got an Easter small box, a Halloween small box, and a Christmas small box. Then last year in 2024, we got an Easter large box, a Halloween large box, and a Christmas large box. Earlier this year, we got an Easter neon fridge. What do you reckon is going to happen next? Well, we expect it to happen next, but how likely do you reckon it is that we're going to see the Halloween neon fridge? I'm not saying it's for certain, but you are like now aware of a pattern. So, okay, cool. So let's quickly hop back out of here. Let's talk about this a little bit more. So, I was anticipating more fridges being accepted in 2025. I warned you. Throughout all of this year, we have seen a ridiculous amount of fridges, but then again, after the update we had back in March, not too surprising. They've become a little bit more of a necessity. So, would you like to see something like that being accepted? Well, don't worry, we'll take a look at it in a bit, don't you worry. Now, let's also mention Frankenstein Locker. Do you remember last year we got that very cool looking fridge? Quite coincidence, we just talked about fridge, but anyway, Frankenstein... I can spell it. Yep, I'm good. And there we go. Frankenstein fridge. At the moment, selling quite nicely. A lot of fridges earlier this year did spike in price quite a fair bit with the nice update, but they kind of stagnated for a while. But this one, it's been kind of holding quite nicely for a while. So it had a, oh no, that's back in like a year or so ago. So up, down. But it's not like dramatically going down. Lots of skins have dropped off as we've entered October time. It's the autumn-fall seasonal dip. If anything, I think a lot of skins have already reached their lowest point, and don't worry, I'll talk about that on Saturday. So yes, this is looking to be in a pretty interesting spot. If we were to see the brand new locker potentially being accepted, I mean, well, what do you reckon? Do you remember not too long ago, we had that very cool looking snow globe sort of fridge skin being accepted, and then the very next Christmas, which I think was last year, we got the locker. What happened to that fridge? Oh, that spiked in price ever so nice. So keep in mind, if you were to see this, wouldn't be too surprised if we do see the fridge spike in price. So I'm just saying, maybe go look at this and consider making a nice investment. At the very least, it'll be a nice thing to have in your base. It'll be very in theme. So, okay, cool. Understood. So let's quickly hop back over to here, and let's talk about the sheet metal doors. So Crypt Door. You may recall not too long ago, well, I mean, last year, didn't we get the armoured door? Let's just remind myself. We did get the armoured door. And at the moment, it's actually still retaining its price quite nicely. So back in 2020, we got the armoured double door. And then last year, we got the single armoured door. Will we actually see the sheet metal door? What do you reckon? I mean, again, there's a lot of options for Halloween skins this year. You can't just assume, oh, surely the collection continuation will be accepted. It's not always like that with seasonal skins. So nice to see. And if I could just quickly go over to here, Crypt, and you'll see. Come on, don't be shy. There we go. I think we just literally had the maintenance happen, so if it's a bit sluggish, sorry about that. So yep, as you can see, Crypt Armored Door from last year, currently sitting here at $1.63. Don't fully remember the price it sold for, so let's just quickly hop back to scmm.app. Let's go to last year. What rust door was it? I don't know. We have 3 to look at. Last year we had 3 weeks of Halloween, but I will remind you, this year it's only expected to be 2. But the skins last year were kind of nicely spread out. I wouldn't be surprised if the 2 Halloween rust doors we have this year, as I said a little bit earlier, are probably going to be some very big rust doors. That's all for $2.49. It didn't hold up, unfortunate. However, could we see more of this proposed Crypt collection? I don't consider that being part of this. It doesn't look the same, does it? So, cool. Right, nice thing to be aware of. So, hopping back over to where we were, let's take a look at the next skin. So that would be over to here. There we go. The Spell. Do you remember, and I know a lot of people are going to sit there and say, isn't it anime? No, I wouldn't call it anime. Let me just make sure we didn't skip anything. Yep. So we actually have 2 versions, non-glow and, of course, glow. Considering that the glow-in-the-dark spell garage door is the one that was accepted previously, I'm just going to only show off the glow-in-the-dark sheet with the door. And I think that's the one you care about more. So, yeah, the Spell. Let's quickly hop back over to here. And spell garage door, pretty please. You may remember the weird-looking cutesy anime girl from, like, the previous year. But this is the OG. This is the one that a lot of people loved quite some time back. Could we see a nice sequel? I believe this sold for $3. It sold a lot. And right now, it's doing a very good job of retaining its price. Could we see that collection continuation? Will you be ever so nice and happy? We shall see. So, if you like it, by all means, for any of the skins that we saw, you can go ahead, you can show your support, but I don't think that matters for these. Quite literally, face punchers just going to look at them, and they're going to say, oh, well, that looks nice, and then they'll accept it. It's a little competition, you see. Okay, so, Rotting Guardian Sheet Metal Double Door. It's not like a super noticeable, super direct collection continuation, but when I show you the previous skin, you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's obviously a collection continuation. So, what am I talking about? If I could just navigate back to, Freddy's previous skins that they've had submitted in the past, let's go ahead and take a look at this. We'll scroll down. Last year, they submitted the Zombie Sheet Metal Door, but that wasn't accepted. But the previous year, back in 2023, we did see the Zombie Saw being accepted. And when you look at that, and then when you look at this, and when you look at what was last year's submission, yeah, it's a continuation. So, okay, cool, let's just close that. Let's go over to here. Let's search for the Zombie Saw. Didn't that one glow in the dark, if I can recall? Yeah, glow in the dark weapon. Don't be surprised if we see some stupid, silly things like that. I mean, it's not stupid, it's creative. But yeah, there tends to be quite a bit of leniency with some creative approaches with certain skins. So yeah, not exactly doing super great, but let me remind you, it did glow in the dark. Or still does, so yeah, not probably what a lot of people are seeking. But anyway, could we see the likes of this being accepted? Oh, well, I've got to be honest with you. If that gets accepted, I don't think people are going to put 2 and 2 together and realise, oh yeah, collection continuations, that Zombie Saw from quite some time back. The fact that the Zombie Saw glows is going to be a very, very bad thing. That right there, it's not going to be able to save it. But at the very least, you like it, are you a fan? Like I said, if you like these skins, by all means, show support. It won't have an impact if they actually get accepted, if they become a winner. So, okay, cool. So moving on, we do have competition, because over to here, oh yeah, there's 2 versions. Sorry about that. So non-glow and glow. Look at those eyes. Ugh. And then over to here, we have the Grim Farm Double Door. Been quite successful, so if you could just look at the likes of the previous years. Grim Farm skins. Let's go take a look at you. Grim Farm. A very lovely, spooky design for both of these. But the problem is because it's so Halloween-y, and by that I mean very gimmick towards Halloween, it's not very... I mean, would you want to use it throughout the rest of the year when it's not Halloween? Some people probably still would like to do that. Fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, we're 2 in a row at the moment. Could we get 3 out of 3? So hopping back over to here. Do you like what you see? A lovely sheet metal double door that glows in the dark ever so nicely. A very befitting, lovely style I think a lot of people would love for the likes of Halloween. There's only 2 Halloween rust doors this year. Will there be room? Ooh. So, okay, cool. Could we see these by command, spike and price? They're actually doing quite all right. Compared to the regular sort of sheet metal doors and garage doors we see week in, week out, they're performing better, but they've also got like next to no listings. I think some people have been buying these out. I'm noticing that they're starting to trend upwards. People are anticipating the collection continuations. Ooh. So, okay, cool. That's nice to see. So let's just close that, close that. What about all the remaining skins? So we're now on to garage doors, I believe. Yes, indeed we are. We have the Death's Gate garage door. We have the Dominus Mortis garage door. We have the not so cute garage door, and we have the Doomgate garage door. So this previously had a sheet metal double door, if I can recall. This previously has had many skins being accepted because well, technically this collection's actually has been a regular sort of skin collection. I definitely told the skin creators, this looks quite gruesome, this looks quite scary, why not consider turning it to a Halloween skin? Well, they went for it. I believe you got like one of the horsemen, the dreaded horseman on horseback. Is it death? I'm not sure. But it still looks like it's very befitting for the likes of Halloween. So yeah, very, very, very scary. And when it's nighttime, oh no. Oh. Last year we had the sheet metal door for that. And then with this, I think we also had a sheet metal door quite some time back. So if I could just quickly remind myself, so Hellgate? Wait, Doomgate, Hedge, Doomgate. Oops, sorry. Don't know what I'm up to. Doomgate sheet metal door. As you will see, it's not exactly doing very nice. Didn't it? This sold for $3.49, didn't it? Well, it's not selling for that price anymore. Oh my, oh my, oh god. So I think, yeah, that was Doomgate. So let's go back to not so cute. Again, don't be surprised if the prices have dropped off. It's unfortunate, but for a very long time it hasn't been Halloween. Yes, you dropped off as well, 94 cents. But if we were to see the collection continuation, do you think that was Spiker Mine, Spiker Price? I think it might have a little bit of a buyout, but I don't think it'll last. So, all right, fair enough. Over to here, Dominus Mortis. So we've had many skins being accepted somewhat recently, but they're all weapon skins. They're all weapon skins. All I had to do is just type in Dominus, and well, there you go. They're not doing very nicely. When you have a weapon-only collection, by default, it doesn't really tend to work out very nicely. But the potential for a garage door, I still don't think it'll have that much of an impact. But it's nice to see where this collection's steering towards. And then, of course, last, we have the Death's Gate. So I actually bought a bunch of these with my buy order, and unfortunately, the price did go down. But it is starting to recover. Sheet metal double doors, in general, when they're not seasonal, they tend to do quite all right. When they're not seasonal, they tend to do quite all right. When they are seasonal, they tend to be a little bit problematic. But now that we're getting closer and closer to Halloween, it seems people have been jumping onto this. And of course, people also anticipating the collection continuation. And the same would apply with like Christmas skins. Last year we had a Christmas themed sheet metal double door. Earlier this year wasn't doing very well. Well, as we get closer and closer to December, and don't worry, we'll be talking about that at some point. So, we've just showcased all the deployable skins. Now we actually have to quite literally go in game, get a good look at them, and you can tell me whether you like them or not. And, well, you know what, you can also tell me which ones you would like to see actually being accepted. Right, let's go hop in. Oh, very disturbing. Anyway, let's pull back. Let's go ahead and take a look at all the skins that we just talked about in order of what we just said. So, over to here, get a good look at the horror bed. A very nice looking comfy design. I guess you could say it's the bedding. I guess you could just say it's the mattress. But hey, I'm not complaining. It's a potential collection continuation for a very well-beloved sleeping bag skin. What do you reckon? What are the odds that we could see this being accepted? Now, after the 10-year anniversary Complete the Sets Rust store, well, we saw the bloody pants finally being accepted for the bloody hoodie and, of course, the boots. What do you reckon? Would you like to see it? And then, over to here, we also happen to have the other collection continuation bed. We have the Tombstone design. Got a hand to the skin creator. I kind of like it. I'm not sure if it'd be comfortable, but I think they did a very good job making it a very nice looking, lovely looking tombstone. Well, I mean, coffin design. What do you call them? Feel free to comment below. What do you call a coffin that's more like stone? I think it begins with M, but I don't fully remember. Anyway, with the both of these skins, how they look at night time with the lights on. Well, you might start to notice that, oh, it's raining. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, don't worry. I just dried them off very quickly. I'm so sorry about that. Didn't realise what the weather was going to be like. Okay. There we go. Now it's all nice and dry. No rain. All good. So over to here. In terms of the beds, they're not exactly super reflective. Not really. As I pull over to here, the spiderweb kind of stands out quite nicely a little bit more. But it's not like it's metal. So, okay, fair enough. How do they look in total darkness then? So let's just pull back a little bit and let's go ahead and find out. And as you'll notice, only one of these beds happen to glow in the dark. So in the current Rust store, I'm sure you're fully well aware, we have the neon bed. That glows very brightly at night time. And at the moment, it's the highest selling skin. I did warn people, number one, with brand new Skinnables, the first few skins are very likely going to sell absolutely insanely. As time goes on, as more and more skins are accepted, oh no, yeah, those original skins very likely will be struggling and very likely will be suffering. But more specifically for the neon bed, I did say, do not be surprised if we see more glow-in-the-dark bed skins being added, accepted, Twitch drops, you name it. So, with what we have right here, okay, could we see the 10-year anniversary of the horror bag finally getting a collection continuation? If you feel like that's a very likely thing, you might want to worry about that neon bed. So, okay, cool, that glows in the dark. But over to here, where's that bed gone? Well, I mean, yeah. I think we made the point that it doesn't glow. So, as you'll notice, as we get up nice and close, and then turn the lights off again, no glow, not super noticeable. So it's not the end of the world for this bed. It's very Halloween themed and whatnot, but I can't help to assume maybe a lot of people probably would prefer a glow-in-the-dark bed. Hey, feel free to comment below. You're watching right now. Does it matter? Does a glow-in-the-dark bed really have a massive impact or not? Your opinion matters? So, okay, cool. Just showcase both of the beds. Let's now go ahead and take a look at some doors. Okay, sheet metal double doors. First glance, which one do you prefer more? Let's go get a good look at the zombie. Ooh, look at the sunlight gleaming on the brain. Oh, lovely. But it's quite reflective. Very interesting. Stands out very nicely. It's got a very nice looking 3D sort of style and effect, so I think a lot of people very likely would appreciate such a thing. And then over to here, a lovely looking Halloween theme scene. Also somewhat reflective, not super obvious right now. You'll probably see it at night time in a bit. But yeah, do you like it? Oh, the creepy looking pumpkins. The lights in the houses. The bats. The cat. What's he doing there? Why do you have funny eyes as well? I mean, okay, whatever. So anyway, let's go get a good look at both of these at night time with the lights on. So, get a good look at the reflection now. The blood smeared on this zombie reflects quite nicely. That stands out very nicely. Look at that. Ooh. Okay, very cool stylish effect. And then over to here, it's not like super in your face with its reflection, but when you like move about like that, you do notice how it kind of lights up a fair bit. So yeah, that's looking pretty sweet. So two very nice looking sheet metal double doors, but of course there's still other skins that have also been submitted that are sheet metal double doors. These are simply the collection continuations. There's no guarantee that you're definitely going to see these being accepted. But by all means, stand up, comment right now, which one do you happen to like the most? So, two lovely looking glow-in-the-dark sheet metal double doors. Which one could potentially be accepted? Some very nice scary looking eyes. Oh my goodness. Now, let me just remind you, there's also a non-glow-in-the-dark version as well. But I lean more towards the idea that this is probably going to be more likely. It's more of a hedge hope. And then over to here, this glows very nicely as well. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more Grim Farm skins being accepted. 2 in a row so far. Will it be 3 in a row? Well, we'll have to wait and see. What prices do you reckon they'll list them for? Oh my, yeah. They've had some very high prices for Deployables in the past with Halloween skins. We'll just have to wait and see. Right then, let's now go ahead and showcase the garage doors. Okay, we've got all 4 garage doors on display. Let's get up nice and close. Take a look at all of them. So, with the sun shining upon you, you don't really seem to reflect that much. With all these bones, it's kind of surprising it's not very reflective, so okay, that's pretty interesting. Now over to here, Dominus Mortis design. It's very similar to what we just saw with the Grim Farm sheet metal double door. It does reflect, but it's not like super obvious, so okay, fair enough. Still looking very cool. Over to here, yep, just a fun, cute design. I kind of would like it if they had like wires attached to it, just to kind of promote the idea that's like a neon sort of light, but hey, still very nice. And then, of course, over to here, do your bones reflect nicely? Well, let's get up nice and close. Yeah, not really. Maybe it would be a lot more noticeable when we turn the lights off. Well, make it nighttime, then turn the lights off, so you get the idea. So some very nice looking garage door skins. But how's they all look when we turn off the sun? Yeah, that's probably better. Anyway, there you go. So, ooh, okay. Are we starting to notice some reflection now? Yeah, just about. Wasn't super noticeable during the day. But yep. Pretty interesting, but not like super blatantly reflective, so okay. Move over to here, and then we have the Dominus Mortis. The gold seems to be shining already, so that's looking pretty cool. The actual body of like the horse here, scary looking creature, not super in your face with its reflection, so okay. Also looking very cool. And then over to here, You can start to see a bit of a 50-50 situation here. The cute ghost and now the sinister, scary ghost. Oh no. But when you look at the actual body, you'll notice it is very nice and reflective. Kind of like it's a hard plastic or something. So, yep, that seems to be very nice and, well, quite cute. And then over to here, the metallic parts over here seem to be quite reflective. But the actual main body, not so much. So, yeah, okay, cool. Let's just pull back a bit, take a look at all four, and of course, let's turn off all the lights. And then, as you'll notice, all four of them happen to glow in the dark ever so nicely. Get a good look at all of them. Yes, let's go do just that. So, yep, a very nice glow in the dark design, all four of them. We'll roll up all of them in a second, just so you can see if they glow in the dark whilst they're rolled up. Yep. Of these four skins, which one is your favourite? Feel free to comment below. Alright, let's go ahead and roll all four of them up. Let's go ahead and see if they all happen to glow in the dark when they're rolled up. So, I noticed a bit of a problem. I don't think I'm going to be able to judge these garage doors very well. Because as you can see, I don't have a head. I can't see. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and look at all of these at night time. Oh, okay. Well, immediately we can see which ones glow. Yep, get a good look at that. A very nice, very noticeable glow, even on the little panels right there as well. You with the gold there, that definitely stands out quite nicely. Very cool. But this one here, oh no, you do not glow. Okay. And then lastly, it's a bit more dimmer compared to the previous ones, but it is noticeable. You do have the little panels there that seem to glow quite nicely. So yeah, all four of these garage doors have a very nice style to them. But out of these four, which one would you like to see being accepted? Best of luck to all the skin creators. And now, let's go ahead and take a look at those sheet metal doors. Okay, so. Would you like the nice symbol, solemn design to the left? Or would you like cute witch to the right? Which one do you prefer? Right, so with the sun beaming upon you. Yeah, there's a bit of a reflection. Yeah. The symbol right there definitely kind of reflects quite nicely. Looking pretty cool. What about the witch? Okay. Why does she have 4 eyes? With the sharp teeth. Oh dear, oh dear. Yep, let's get up nice and close. Doesn't seem to be very reflective, so okay, cool. Not going to complain. Let's pull back a little bit. Turn off the lights. So, with the lights right next to you, with it being night time, are you still somewhat reflective? Yeah, to a point. It's not super in your face, so okay, cool. No complaints here. And I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, this still doesn't seem to be very reflective. I mean, it's not the end of the world, just like to point out all the features with the skins and whatnot, so okay, cool. And now, in total darkness, you'll notice both of them happen to glow very, very nicely. Very nice standout designs, very nice, perfectly fine designs for Halloween. But which one do you prefer? Which one do you reckon will be accepted in the upcoming Halloween rush doors? Go for the comment below. And now, I reckon we can show off the final 2 deployables as well. Because they're literally just right over to here. 2 fantastic looking designs. Now, in regards to the fridge, with all due respect, it is a fairly... I don't want to say like... it's not like a super extravagant sort of design. Trust me when I say, I've looked at all the fridge designs that have been submitted for Halloween. And there will be a short video showcasing that, don't you worry. But when you see it for yourself, you'll realise, oh wow, some of the skin creators went really wild with the designs. But this way, you know, just over to here. It's a perfectly fine looking decorative design with all the neon lights and whatnot. Like, it's a safe option. I really wouldn't be surprised if Face Punch just goes ahead and accepts, you know, something like that. But in terms of all the fridges, I mean, you've got to go ahead and see them for yourself. There's some really cool elaborate designs. So let me just quickly turn the lights on as well. There you go. Lovely. And of course, make it night time. Well, actually, no, we should probably look at the locker as well first before we do that. So, okay, cool. Let's just pan around. A very nice, a very similar design to what we saw with the fridge. Looking very, very cool. And do you still happen to own any of the fridge skins? Because, like I said, don't be surprised if you do see the Frankenstein fridge have a nice little bump in price if we were to see this being accepted. Earlier this year, I sold about 30 of them before I came to my senses. Oh, stupid Hedge. But yep, 2 for the price of 1. We now get 2 Frankensteins, so, ooh, not too bad. It seems like a fair trade. Right then, so let's now go ahead and make it night time. Turn off the sun, haha. So in terms of reflection with the lights on at the bottom here at the fridge, yeah, it's somewhat noticeable. And then when you look at the actual, like, you know, all the pictures and whatnot, it also is very nice and reflective to a point. Now over to here, yes, the locker is nice and reflective to a point as well. You really do have to kind of like get up nice and close to it to notice it. So, okay, cool. Come on though, Hedge. We want to see what it looks like in total darkness. I mean, we kind of just did a second ago, didn't we? But yeah, shut up. So, there you go. Two perfectly fine, nice, standout, glow-in-the-dark designs. Are you pleased with what you see? You kind of need to see that short video, don't you? So, maybe I'll go ahead and upload it with this video, and you can see that for yourself. You can point out which fridge you'd like to see being accepted. Now, regards to lockers, not as many in terms of fridge submissions, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see that being accepted after last year's fridge. So, okay, cool. So we got some very nice looking deployables. But I want you now to write down which ones would you like to see being accepted. Which I probably said about like 20 times already. I do apologise about that, so sorry. Right then, so some very nice cool glow-in-the-dark designs. Let's now move on and of course showcase the weapons and the tools. Okay, so next up we have weapons and tools. All 5 of them. So, yes, first up we have the Demonic Raven Hammer. A collection continuation to a sheet metal door that was accepted back in 2022. Let's go look this up. So, Demonic Raven. Let's get a good look at you. And there we are. So, if I can recall, it sold quite a fair bit. And without the collection continuation, it's just not really held up. But then again, only 35 listings. And the potential to see a collection continuation. Now, I'm not sure if a hammer's going to make a dramatic, huge, massive impact on the sheet metal door, but hey, we'll see. I have seen this hammer's been getting quite a lot of attention, but so has the Hammer from Hell. So this is one of those collections where it gets skins accepted outside of Halloween and also during Halloween. So last year, you may recall, Cirque submitted his wooden double door, and lo and behold, it was accepted. It actually did a very good job, a very, very good job. But after earlier this year, we've got tons of wooden double doors being accepted. Yeah, not so special anymore. Anyway, so Hammer from Hell, part of the From Hell collection. I mean, all I've got to do is just go over to here, and you'll see tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of skins. Over the past, like, many Halloweens of Rust, we've had quite a few From Hell skins being accepted. Now, not all of them are doing perfect. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm better off going over to here, because there's just so many skins. You're going to be a bit surprised. Well, if you know, you know, but if you don't, ta-da, there is 25. Like I said, we have seen quite a lot of these skins being accepted, well, the majority of them accepted outside of Halloween. So initially, the first few, they sold quite a decent amount, and then over time, they progressed very nicely. People have appreciated them, lovely. But then we've gone for a bit of a rough patch where every single skin that's come out after that hasn't done very nicely. Then we got the wooden double door last year, and at one point back in the summer, this was pushing up to about $5 each. Now, dropped off a bit. Then again, most skins right now have dropped off quite badly. So okay, cool. Could a hammer have dramatic impact on any of these skins? No. Sorry to say, but it's not going to cause all of those to spike in price by a lot. So, okay, cool. It's nice to see that we're getting more, I guess you could say. Are you a fan of what you see? Well, first of all, let's actually go ahead and showcase it. So, okay, cool. So, over to here. Next, we have the Pumpkin Exhibition Crossbow. You may recall in the past, didn't we have like an AK or a SAR? Well, look it up, Hedge. Okay, yeah, sorry. So, Exhibition, there we go. And, well, there you go. AK-47 and the SAR. So on a bit of a streak, could we see the crossbow being accepted? Would it cause either of these to spike in price? An AK-47 and a SAR skin down in price? Oh my, who would have guessed? So we tend to see quite a lot of these items, skins and whatnot, and unfortunately they tend to go down pretty cheap. Now with these being gimmicky towards Halloween, unfortunately they have dropped off. But that's not a surprise, is it? We've already talked about this several times. So, okay, crossbow, not going to say no to you. We've seen some interesting Halloween crossbows in the past, and I think that's a perfectly fine addition a lot of people would greatly appreciate. So, okay, cool. Nice stuff there, Mr. Deadeye. Now over to here. We've been very successful with Ghost Halloween in the past. So, Mr. Verona, he has submitted the AK-47, the SAR, the MP5, the L96, and now he submits his Ghost Halloween custom SMG with some cut sights, apparently. Oh, hello. We've had one of those being accepted earlier this year. Could we see this? Oh, don't worry. We'll give it a proper look in a second, don't you worry. But yes, Ghost Halloween, weapon-only collection. Unfortunately, I'm not expecting the best. However, some of these skins, they're not doing too bad, but they still dropped off and they still went down in price. So that's what happens when you tend to see a weapon-only collection. So, okay, maybe this might have a bit of a positive impact. Not really, but hey, it's nice to see a collection grow. So, all right, best of luck to Mr. Verona. And then we have the Necro charge Satchel charge. So he's in a lovely little suit and he's screaming at you, I guess. This is a Satchel charge skin. We've only seen one being accepted in the past 18 months. That, of course, being the recent Temple Satchel charge. What do you say with the idea of seeing a Halloween themed skin? So in regards to Necro, you may recall we had a AK-47, and last year we had some tier 3. Oh, no, 2 years ago we had tier 3, and then last year with the Necro Furnace. I'm not sure if that's actually the same collection. Either way, we've had some previous skins, but they're not exactly doing super great. So you might sit there and say Necro tier 3 down in price when it's green. Well, you'll see in a second. It's got a bit of pink, but anyway, only 85 cents. Quite unfortunate. So then over to here. It's got a whole bunch of pink. You will notice it when you're in the grassy green areas and in the jungle, so oh dear. And then over to here. The chest plate actually did quite alright somewhat recently. So this is actually doing very well because it's just pretty much all green. And when we had the anticipation for the jungle update earlier this year, yeah, that spiked in price very nicely. But then after that, it hasn't really reached those highs ever again, so no, okay, fair enough. Would the Satchel charge have a dramatic impact on the likes of these other skins? I don't think so, I'm sorry to say. So, regardless, if you like what you see, if you're a fan of what you have like right there, by all means, consider showing support. Let's now hop in game, get a good look at all of these skins, and you can tell me whether you like them or not. I've shrunk. Well, it's all to make sure that we showcase these properly. So yep, get a good look at the demonic raven hammer. Some very sinister looking ravens right there. Oh dear, oh dear. Bop, bop. So yep, that's a perfectly fine looking design, and of course, a nice little look at night time. You'll notice that that does happen to glow in the dark ever so nicely. So let's just quickly walk into the darkness, and yep, very nice and noticeable. I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate that. So if I could just quickly pull back a bit, turn around, stand on stage, look pretty. Oh yes, I'm looking dashing. And yeah, what do you reckon? Could we see that potentially being accepted? A perfectly fine looking hammer. Oh yes, indeed. So yep, what do you reckon the odds are? Best of luck to the skin creators. But of course, we do have to point out that there is in fact competition. So let's quickly hop out of here. Boom. And let's turn around and switch to the other hammer. So yep, here we have the hammer from hell. A very nice glow-in-the-dark design that you're going to see very soon. Oh yes. So nighttime look as well, pretty please. And what do you see if we walk into the darkness? A very noticeable, very noticeable hammer. I'm always convinced that the glow-in-the-dark hammers would be appreciated more. So you can, upgrade your base at nighttime without issues. You can see where you're hammering. Makes sense, I'm sure. Right, so let's get up nice and close, get a good look at you. A perfectly fine looking design. Could we see the From Hell collection gain even more? Number 26, it's quite a large collection, it's been around for many years. Go for the comment below, whether you like the Hammer from Hell or the Demonic Raven. Do you reckon this is perfectly befitting of Halloween, or the scary ravens are? Cool, so understood, a nice pair of hammers, but of course, we have some other skins to showcase as well. So, here we have the Ghost Halloween SMG. Seems they're not in order, but I don't think it matters that much. So, of all the previous skins, we have noticed some nice little pumpkins on the side. The coffin looks pretty. And, of course, oh, yeah, we've got a transparent aim sight right there. It is white on the tip, though. I'm not sure if that's going to be greatly appreciated in the snowy tundra. Oh, the snow biome and whatnot. But it does look nice. Props to the skin creator. He's been very consistent with this collection. Won't be surprised if we see it being accepted. That's a very angry-looking pumpkin right there. Now, if I could just quickly look at this at night time as well. So, with that. Because it had white on it, I was under the assumption that you might be able to notice it. I noticed the pumpkin. I don't really notice the aim sight that much. Okay, well. It is what it is. Yeah, I can see all the pumpkins, but it's not like super beneficial, super help. So, okay, fair enough. Can't have it all, I'm afraid. Can't have it all. And then, here we are. Let's get a nice... Actually, Hedge, you probably should have moved a little bit. So, with a little bit of magic... Okay, but no, seriously, we need to just turn you there and then get up nice and close. So, yeah, looking pretty cool. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't mind. But custom SMGs, not exactly the most in-demand weapon. Especially the skins. I've definitely seen the sales and the prices. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But hey, it's Halloween. Let's just have a little bit of fun with the creator design. So, best of luck to the skin creator. And now, let's take control. Turn lights back on, and showcase the next skin, which happens to be the Pumpkin Exhibition Crossbow. Oh, do I have any arrows? No. Well, let's go change that. I didn't even showcase myself reloading this, so there you go. A treat for your eyes. And now let's quickly switch back over to the crossbow. Get that arrow in there. Yep, lovely. Alright. And now let's go cause some mischief. I'm sure they hit it. So, yep, a perfectly fine looking crossbow design. And the pumpkins on the side look very appropriate. Yes, very nice. But how does it look at night time? Let's go ahead and find out. So I'm going to go stand over to here and boom. Does it stand out? Is it noticeable? No. No, it's not. About on the side as I inspect. No. Nothing super beneficial at night time or anything. So, okay, fair enough. So, at the end of the day, do you like what you see? Are you a fan? Let's go strike a pose. Turn off the lights. Boom. And strike a pose like so. Okay, so, yep. 2 so far. Wouldn't say no to more. Wouldn't surprise me. But typically with Halloween-themed weapons and tools, they don't tend to really work out very well. But by all means, if you just want to have a cool-looking design that's very, befitting of Halloween, I wouldn't say no to this. I think the skin created a perfectly fine approach. And by all means, offer your own opinions. Feel free to comment below. And now for last, we do in fact have the satchel charge. You might have noticed it on my hip the whole time, somewhat veiled by my cape. But yeah, you will notice that does appear to glow in the dark. And if you need proof, well, don't worry. I'll go ahead and showcase that to you right now. And there you go. It's an interesting glow-in-the-dark satchel. The eyes are very stressed out. Right, come on then, let's take control. Boom. Let's go over to here. Hold that satchel charge. Let's give you a nice little inspection. He's a very happy guy. Texture's quite nice. As you'll notice, we have the 3D effect. Is he sweating? Look, I know we stuck some dynamite in your brain, but there's no need to worry. You'll be dead soon. Right, quick look at night time. And lo and behold, yes, it's a glow-in-the-dark satchel charge. But there's always been a bit of a question of, when it comes to explosives, yeah, you might be able to skin them, but when you throw it, it's gone. That's it. Boom, gone. So do people care enough to skin their explosives? Feel free to comment below. Do you mind? Do you like doing it? Now, unfortunately, I don't have the lights on, so will they have that much of a problem? We'll see. So, boom. Yep, nice and close. Is a very happy looking fella. Yes. And of course, nighttime look as well, because you might question, oh, but people might be able to see me. Well, I mean, yeah, of course they would. Now, if you're real up close, true. But if you're already raiding someone, they're already going to know you're there. Kaboom! Oh, what was that? So, come on now. Anyway, get a good look at that. So, yeah. Weapons and tools. Well, we didn't really have any tools, did we? Oh, no, we had that hammer. Okay, yeah, cool. You don't whack people around the head with it. You whack walls with it. If only you could whack people around the head with it. Anyway. So, yep, a perfectly fine looking batch of skins. But now, we have to go ahead and showcase all the clothing and armor pieces. Okay, time for clothing and armor. And what do we see immediately? Ghost Guise Burlap clothing. Now, I should point out this is the non-glowing version. So, burlap shirt, burlap pants. The most likely outcome is we'll see the glow-in-the-dark version. Why is that? Because last year, we got the Ghost Guise Burlap Headwrap and, of course, the Poncho. It was glow-in-the-dark version. Now, you probably have already seen the short video where I showcased this, and don't worry, I'm still going to showcase it. But yes, this is a collection continuation to last year's primitive skins. They also glowed in the dark. Didn't matter. When we started the summer earlier this year, that got bought out. That rose up in price. However, didn't last. So, with this being somewhat affordable, as you'll notice quite here, oh my, 278 listings. The main reason why it was sought after, even though it glowed, was because, well, if you take one quick look at the Arctic collection, the primitive skins that is, so if we could just quickly scroll over to here, I'm talking about Arctic Protection Collection, that's it. Headwrap at one point was selling for about $30. Obviously prices have dropped off because it's the autumn fall seasonal dip, but this is still very, very pricey. And let me tell you, if you're wanting to buy that set, now's the best time because prices have reached their lowest point already, it seems. So, maybe consider it. Anyway, so hopping over to here, when people couldn't afford to spend about $20 to $30 for a white headwrap, they looked at this. So as you'll notice, there's quite a lot of listings right here. It doesn't matter. If we see that continuation, if we see burlap clothing, oh, that's going to go up in price very, very nicely. So if I could just quickly scroll down, as you'll notice earlier this year, yeah, it rose up quite nicely. But it looks like very recently people have been dumping and the prices have dropped off. Oh, you fools, you have no idea how this is going to work out. If we see that burlap clothing, you're going to see it rise back up to this price again, and maybe even higher. I'm not joking. We are definitely in for a very fun time. If Face Punch wants it to happen, all right? They can easily just say no, and we don't see it. So not everything is always perfect, but both of these right now, they're in a very interesting, very approachable time. This is $2. This is $1.49. I think that's the same price it sold for when it was in the Rust store, so that's perfect. People cannot afford this, but they can just about afford this, I'm sure. So what do you reckon? Even if it's the non-glowing version, it will still be greatly appreciated. I mean, come on now. Some nice white primitive clothing. Some nice white primitive camouflage. Ooh, okay, cool. So that's all nice and understood. Looking very, very interesting. Now over to here. Tooth Monster. So last year we saw Tooth Monster hoodie and pants being accepted. Mr. Kit made it. So Tooth Monster. Now here's the thing. He's made some primitive skins this year, which is, well, it's not what we were looking for. I'm not sure if this is still going to spike them on spike in price if we were to see that potentially being accepted. But yeah, we were definitely leaning more towards we wanted to see tier 2 or tier 3. So Tooth Monster Poncho, Tooth Monster Headwrap. It's still a very wonderful, cool looking idea for Halloween. Very befitting for Halloween considering it's very scary. But kind of was hoping for more core pieces. So maybe we'll see that next year. If this were to be accepted, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if it still, causes the hoodie and pants to rise up a fair bit, but not as much as we would see with tier 2 or tier 3. So, okay, fair enough. At least we mentioned it. At least you're aware of the collection continuations. So let's now move on. Slime Monster. So Slime Monster has been pretty successful over the past few years because we've had a Thompson and a SAR, including last year's tier 2 armor. So over the course of time, when we saw the tier 2 armor being accepted, initially it did drop off. Quite unfortunate. As time went on, the prices have started to improve. We are noticing improvement, but the prices are still down by the looks of it. So as you can see here, $1.15. As you can see here, 93 cents. As you can see here, 98 cents. If we see that hoodie and pants, that is going to spike them on spike in price so nicely. New core pieces? Yes, please. So it's green, but it's light green. It also has purple in it. I've already tested this out before in the grassy areas. It's not good green camouflage, but it's still fun and goofy, and I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate it. And it doesn't matter. So as long as you see a new core piece being accepted, the pre-existing core pieces will spike them on spike in price. These are in a very interesting position, more specifically the kilt. So there's only 30 listings at the moment, very thin. That looks like it could rise up very, very nicely. So we'll see how that turns out. Things are looking very, very promising with the clothing and the armor. And now, just to confirm, yeah, I accidentally skipped the jacket, the pumpkin jacket. So pumpkin collection has been very successful over the past few years. If I could just quickly show off all the pumpkin skins, we have plenty. Oh yes, indeed. Unfortunately, we never got the pumpkin boots. I did ask about this. You know how, like, over the past several weeks, we saw like boots being accepted that were never accepted in the past. Road sign gloves were accepted with all the clothing and armor, but boots have been neglected. And for like the past 3 or 4 months, we've seen boots after boots after boots to help actually complete clothing and armor sets. What about the pumpkin boots? Maybe he'll produce it in about 2 or 3 years' time, because I was personally hoping to see some tier 3. Jacket's still good though. Jacket's still very promising. Jacket could still cause the hoodie and pants and the tier 2s to spike and spike in price ever so nice. So let's just quickly close all of this, because last year we actually saw that collection continuation happening. We saw pumpkin hoodie and pants being accepted, and the tier 2, oh my, the tier 2 went up in price very, very, very nicely. So quite recently I've noticed that all of the pumpkin hoodie and pants have been bought out. Prices have already gone back up to the prices they sold for. If anything, they're already back up to a profit. They're already in a very, 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 very interesting position. So, okay, you probably missed out on that. What about like the, I don't know, pumpkin armor kilt? Let's go ahead and take a look at you. So as you notice, this is sitting here at about, what, $1.60, $1.70? Yeah. If we see hoodie and pants, I do believe that will cause that to spike in price as well. And eventually, if we do see tier 3, oh, even better. So, jacket, looking forward to you. Jacket, you will help out the hoodie pants and, of course, the other pieces, even the road sign gloves. So, all right, cool. Let's now talk about the Awakened tier 2. So, last year we got Awakened tier 3. It was a pretty interesting design. Could this potentially be accepted? We'll have to wait and see. But Awakened, let's go take a look at you. And what do we have? Some tier 3 armor. The face mask is doing quite all right. I'm under the impression people have appreciated it as a very budget whiteout face mask alternative. So, okay, $1.15, can't complain. But then you look over to here in the chest plate. Oh dear. You've reached a pretty bad low point. But if we do see those collection continuations, maybe. But more specifically, the face mask seems to be appreciated more. So, doesn't matter. If you see the collection continuations, it's going to spike and spike in price. And then, as you can see right here, oh yes. So, Ghostly Flame. Never seen this before in terms of clothing and armor attempts. We have had Ghostly Flame Furnace, Large Box, Sheet Metal Door, Garage Door, and of course, many attempts. No, just the previous attempt last year. Didn't happen. Looks like Swanspurs considered making an approach for some clothing and armor now. So, if I was to quickly look at Ghostly Flame, over to here. Ghostly. Quite successful in the past. The collection, it's a bit here and there. The Furnace came out years ago and it's been appreciated for a very, very long time. But, Large Box, Garage Door, how are you doing at the moment? Fine. Where is the Ghostly Large Box? I can't see it. Ghost Large Box. I can't seem to find it. Where did you go? Whatever. Don't worry, I'll just look at these skins for now as a nice example. So, yep, Ghostly Flame. Over the many years, you've been a very interesting, very cool design. You've dropped off a bit. You've kind of done quite nice quite recently, but yeah, you have dropped off quite a bit. That used to be about $20 at one point. No longer anymore. Oh dear, oh dear. It used to be a very unique design. We didn't have that many alternative coloured sort of furnaces. Typically, it's just yellow and orange, but that was one of the only ones that had a different colour, and people appreciated that. Then with the door is there, 85 cents. And then we've got the garage door. Not exactly changing the world, but also still kind of better off compared to most garage doors. So I wanted to say no to some armour, but I'm not sure if some tier 2 armour is going to dramatically change the deployables. So, yeah. And then lastly, what do we have right here in front of us? We have the Frankenpack, which should be a collection continuation to the Frankenbag. Do you remember this from last year? It did not sell that much. It did not sell that much whatsoever. But there's hardly any listings, and well, whilst it might be slightly below its Rustle price at the moment, maybe a lot of people might jump onto that if we see the Frankenpack potentially being accepted. So, how many people actually realise this is a collection continuation to that? Not sure. Would I even expect that much of a insane buyout or anything? Don't really think so. But hey, maybe I'll probably see some Franken clothing and armour at some point in the future as well. It's up to Mr. Zink. And so, that's everything. Let's now hop in game, give it all a good look, and consider, could these skins potentially be accepted? Okay, so here we are in game. Get a good look at that. So I've already showcased the shirt and pants here with the poncho and the Headwrap. But we've still got to showcase it right now. So let's pull back a bit, get up nice and close, get a good look at my lovely white clothing. So a lot of people would greatly appreciate this, I know for sure. But of course, be warned, don't roam around at night time wearing these. Oh dear, oh dear. So you know how things have been over the past year or so. Face Punch are very hesitant with the idea of accepting any more camouflage skins and whatnot. I don't think the non-glow version will be accepted, but I certainly wouldn't be surprised if we do see the glow-in-the-dark one. So, as you can see here, I'm panning around. Get a good look at that. You probably can't notice the glow yet, which is actually very nice to see. You also might notice it's not that reflective. Not really. But in total darkness, I'm sure you can tell how it's going to be. So, oh dear. It happens to glow. Faintly, though. Faintly. So, how obvious is that to you? I know I've had some people kind of complaining at me with the short video saying, oh, Hedge, it's super obvious. Is it? I mean, come on now. If I could just, zoom out a little bit more. Are you going to easily spot that? Amongst the trees and the rocks and whatnot in the snowy tundra? I mean, yeah, sure. If you've got keen eye, fair enough. Or if you could, if you've been changing the settings in a certain way, you could probably spot them. But yeah, I won't be surprised if people will appreciate it. That just specifically use it for daytime. And there's plenty more daytime compared to nighttime, right? Right, so let's go ahead and put on the other clothing pieces that we've had from before. Let's just give it a nice spin. Get a good look at that. And ba-bam, ba-bam. Right, let's go get those extra pieces on. Ta-da! Right then. Would you like to be a very scary ghost? Go for the comment below. And of course, let's test this out. Let's go see how noticeable it is at night time. So first of all, let's just move around with the lights on. As you can see, not very reflective, but that's perfect. We do like that. But of course, when it's total darkness, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, it is somewhat noticeable. So it seems that Headwrap isn't really glowing. It's a bit of a mistake. Sorry about that. There's been some issues recently with some of the glow-in-the-dark skins. I don't know what Face Punch did, but consider watching a short video. Probably, look in the top right corner. You'll see a link to it right there, and you could go look at it. But just with the poncho there working, what do you reckon? Do you think you could allow such a thing? Right then. So let's now go ahead and showcase the next batch of skins. You can tell I'm a nice guy. I've got a lovely smile. So, let's get a good look at you. So you got like guts all spilled out and whatnot. I'm not exactly sure what if they are guts or intestines or something. Yeah, that's kind of scary. Maybe it's the tongue. Not 100% sure. But yep, get a good look at those sharp teeth. That is looking pretty sinister. That's looking pretty scary. So yeah, I reckon. Looking pretty cool. Right, does it happen to glow in the dark or anything? So let's go ahead and turn off the lights. Well, make it nighttime. Get a good look at that. Quite reflective to a point. Pretty interesting. I guess it's supposed to be like kind of slimy and whatnot. But of course, as I said, we want to see how's this look in total darkness. And I can confirm it doesn't appear to glow in the dark. Alright, well, not too bad. So, at the very least, should I go ahead and get the hoodie and pants on as well? Right, well, let's go ahead and do just that. There you go. So, overall, it's a pretty sinister, scary, toothy looking design. Oh, yes, oh, yes. But in terms of, well, what were we actually hoping for? Tier 3 or Tier 2? Boots and gloves would have been fine as well. But hey, overall, it's a pretty cool looking, scary outfit, I guess you can say. So, no complaints here. Nighttime look as well. Again, the hoodie and pants is still very shiny. We saw that last year. And the prices really did drop off for the hoodie and pants. Once it's out of season, oh dear, oh dear. But could this collection continuation give it a nice boost? We'll just have to wait and see, aren't we? So, with that, let's now go ahead and showcase the next skins. And of course, next up, we have Slime Monster hoodie and pants. Quite green, oh yes, but I've already tested it out before. It doesn't really blend in quite nicely with the forest, and I don't think it'll be working out very nicely with the jungle. Now, if we were to see this being accepted, of course I'll jump in, I'll do a nice showcase with that. But for now, let's just get a good look at you. Perfectly fine looking pair of hoodie and pants. Well, I mean, it's a bit sticky, and it probably will bite you, but you get the idea. It's a perfectly fine, befitting skin for Halloween. Now, as you'll notice, with the lights on at night time, it does appear to be very reflective and quite shiny. So, oh dear. I did say it's sticky. You should have probably got the impression. So, alright, cool. Now, how's it look in total darkness? Are we concerned in regards to whether it might glow in the dark? No, it does not glow in the dark. There are no worries. There are no concerns. So, okay, fair enough. So, how does this look with the Tier 2 armor? Let's just have a nice little pan around. And let's move back. Let's go put all the armor on. So, coffee can, there's the vest, and of course, we also have the kilt. So, what are your thoughts? Are you looking forward to a nice collection continuation for Slime Monster? Because even though it wasn't very in demand for quite some time, I will confirm that if we see this new core piece, if we see the hoodie and pants being accepted, the Tier 2 is expected to have a very, very, very nice time. But like I said, more specifically the kilt. So let's just give this a nice little spin around again. As you'll notice, at night time, it is quite reflective. It is quite shiny. I like the little face on my arse. Well then, that's fun. Anyway, let's now quickly just turn around a little bit more and just make sure, does it glow at all? No, no concerns, no worries. Spin it around. If only like the eyes and my arse would like glow or something, that'd be funny. Right, let's now go ahead and showcase the next skin. Next up, the pumpkin jacket. So, after the past few years, Mr. Robstar, he has had his Tier 2 armor being accepted, road sign gloves being accepted. Last year, we saw the hoodie and pants. But what of the jacket? Let's get up nice and close. So, looking pretty sweet. Looking, well, is a pumpkin sweet? To a point. I don't actually eat it, so. Alright. Perfectly fine to me. Now, quick look at night time, just to see if it's reflective. And well, it does appear to be somewhat reflective. Not like super flashy, but you can notice that, so. Okay, cool. And of course, some people may be concerned, does it glow in the dark? No, doesn't glow. No need to worry. All is good. So, alright then, let's go ahead and showcase this with the rest of its collection. Now a little turn to the left, or his left. And a little turn this way. And now, boom, 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 boom. Here we go. We've got the pants, we've got the hoodie, we've got the kilt, and of course we've got the gloves. And there's my coffee can. So yeah, you can't wear the vest with this, of course. But I do wonder, if this were to be accepted, and we do see the Tier 3, would the jacket also spike in price? Well, I certainly wouldn't complain. Right, so, What's, you know, how's it look at night time with the full set? Pretty much the same thing we just saw a little bit earlier with just the jacket. It is somewhat reflective and shiny, so okay, fair enough. And if you're concerned about whether this glows as well, so well, here you go. No glow. No glow, no worries, no problems. Looks like a perfectly fine addition, and I think the collection would greatly appreciate the jacket. Right then, let's now go ahead and showcase the next skins. Okay, so next up here we have the Awakened Tier 2, and when you get up real close, you'll notice, oh dear, that doesn't look like it's skin anymore. Yuck. God, I can't imagine what the smell would be like. But one thing I do have to address, as we mentioned with the face mask, with it being a vaguely white option, and it being a very affordable option, it seems the price did rise up quite nicely. But what about the coffee can here? Ooh, so it's good. You know, it's a bit stained. It is still mostly white. I've got to tell you this. Are you aware that the most expensive piece out of the whole whiteout collection is the coffee can? Coffee cans don't make you cold. Face mask does, so that's why they're appreciated more. The whiteout coffee can was pushing up to $50 this year in the summer. And you might consider the Thundergold coffee can instead. True. But even that was pushing up to $15 early this year as well. If this were to be accepted, I don't think it's going to be very expensive. I think people would probably greatly appreciate just that coffee can. Right, so of course, let's just get a quick look at this at night time as well. Is it reflective? Well, looking from the bottom at the start, it is to a point, but it's not like super flashy. And I must have said that about like 5 to 10 times already this video, so sorry about that, but yeah, you get the idea. Now, does it glow? No glow, no problems, no worries, all is good. Right, so I can't really slot in the tier 3 armor perfectly with that, so let's now go ahead and showcase the next skin. Quite the surprising collection continuation, but hey, could be the beginnings of something brand new. Let's get up nice and close and take a look at the Ghostly tier 2. So yeah, no complaints here, looks pretty sweet. I do like how all the ghosts and the ghouls all on the sides look like they're all just laughing at you, mocking you. Maybe not that one, he's just sad for you. Oh dear, why did you have to die again? Oh. So yeah, looking pretty sweet. Ghastly, oh yes. Let's now go ahead, quickly look at this at night time. Well, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be a little bit concerned in regards to whether this glows in the dark. I don't think so, but we will find out. It's not that reflective, which is pretty interesting. So, alright, cool. No need to worry about that. So, moment of truth. Do you happen to glow in the dark? No. Cool. Wonderful. Right, so that's looking pretty sweet. That's looking pretty cool. No complaints here either then. We don't have any other clothing armor pieces to pair up with this, but maybe in the future we will. So keep an eye out for something like that. But, you know, you've probably got to wait another year or two. Cool. And now, let's go ahead and showcase the final skin for this video. So here we are. The final skin for the video. The Frankenpack. Collection continuation to the Frankenbag from last year. The sleeping bag. After all the horrible things Dr. Frankenstein did to get all the body parts, to build a brand new creature, he made it into a backpack. I mean, it probably talks to you on the long trips. So over here, you'll notice we got a bit of transparency here. That's pretty interesting. It doesn't connect. You may recall quite recently with the Hedge backpack, it was fully transparent, the straps. So, okay, not too bad. No complaints here. A very gruesome, disgusting, and quite smelly design here. So, yep, let's just look at this at night time. So the eyes do reflect. The eyes do reflect. Pretty interesting there. Pretty interesting. All right then. So, what about in total darkness? Does this happen to glow in the dark? I can confirm no. No worries, no concerns. All right then. So, everything's been showcased. Hope you enjoyed the video. But out of all the clothing and armor, out of all the weapons and tools, out of all the deployables, which of these skins has impressed you the most? Which ones do you reckon has a fairly decent chance of potentially being accepted in the upcoming Halloween rush stores? Remember, October 23rd, the actual update will be happening, and with it, we'll also see the Warhammer collaboration being released. That's an actual DLC that you had to go look up on Steam itself, like you would like for games and whatnot. But there's been some very cool looking submissions. Please keep an eye out for my short videos as well. There's plenty more skins to see. All I did was showcase all the collection continuations today, and there was a lot of them. Now, I will repeat, I do apologise if I did miss any of the collection continuations. I think I have got all of them. A lot of people focused on like some deployables and some clothing and whatnot this year. Of course, like beds and whatnot. But yeah, I think I did manage to get every single collection continuation. And so, next week, it will be me asking my server, what skins do you reckon have a very good chance of potentially being accepted for Halloween? So thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Halloween is just around the corner. And let's see if we have a lovely, lovely time.